The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. Madison Square Garden was locked down tighter than a vault. And amidst the billionaire pop stars, the NFL legends, and the Hollywood royalty, one massive tight end was on a hilarious secret mission. Hollywood had a new obsession, and it wasn't just the bride and groom. Welcome to Starscope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
Yeah, and today we are getting into a story that is honestly the ultimate collision of pop culture, sports, and extreme logistical paranoia.
Right. We are looking at the highly secretive July 3rd, 2026 wedding of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Exactly. It's a massive topic.
It really is. So we are unpacking the intense security, the emotional vows, the jaw-dropping reception, and the hilarious headline that basically has everyone talking right now. Who did Rob Gronkowski set up at Taylor Swift's wedding?
Which is just an incredible visual to start with.
Oh, totally. But before we get into the details of, who wore what or who sang what, I think we need to frame this whole deep dive around a central question for you guys listening.
Right, because there's a bigger picture here.
Yeah. When you look at the sheer scale of this, 1,000 A-list guests locked inside an iconic New York arena, you really have to ask yourself, was this the ultimate masterpiece in modern celebrity PR, or was it just two superstars desperately trying to build a fortress so they could protect a single, genuine moment of intimacy?
That is the exact tension that defines their entire relationship, honestly. Every piece of source material we have about this event acts as evidence for both sides of that argument.
I completely agree.
And I think the best place to start looking at that dynamic is actually through the behavior of the guests themselves. Because when you strip away the usual Hollywood pageantry, people act in surprisingly normal, kind of messy ways.
Which brings us to four-time Super Bowl champion Rob Gronkowski. I mean, picture this. You invite 1,000 of the most famous people on Earth into one room. The bride is wearing custom Dior.
The groom is dressed in Dior, too.
Right. You are surrounded by literal royalty. And Gronk, alongside his girlfriend Camille Kostek, decides to spend the wedding of the decade, playing matchmaker for his former New England Patriots teammate Julian Edelman.
It's so good. According to Gronkowski's own account, Edelman was essentially acting as a third wheel throughout the whole celebration.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so Gronk and Camille basically take it upon themselves to fix that. He's physically pointing out women to Edelman in the crowd, asking, who's that? Is she single? Go for it, Julian.
I love that so much. Just the image of Julian Edelman, an absolute NFL legend, getting prodded by his buddy to go talk to girls at a wedding like they're back at a high school dance.
It's extremely relatable.
It really is. Now, Gronk did admit the plan totally failed, though he made sure to note that Julian is a beautiful-looking kid.
Naturally. Always supporting his teammate.
Always. But setting aside the sheer entertainment value of Gronk playing Cupid, this matchmaking mission points to a very specific structural choice the couple made for the wedding.
Right, the reason they even had time to do this.
Exactly. Gronk and Camille had all this free time to roam the floor because they were completely relieved of the traditional wedding formality of gifts. The couple had a strict, explicit rule. Absolutely no gifts.
And I think removing the material exchange from a wedding in this specific tax bracket is a profound psychological shift for the guests.
How so?
Well, when you eliminate the registries, the envelope boxes, and the sheer anxiety of figuring out an appropriate gift for a billionaire pop star and a multi-time Super Bowl champion.
Which would be terrifying, by the way.
Completely terrifying. But you remove that, you change the nature of the gathering. It stops being a transactional obligation.
See, I initially read that rule and thought it was just the ultimate celebrity flex. I mean, Taylor Swift has an estimated net worth of, $2.1 billion? What do you even buy her?
Exactly. What do you get the woman who literally has everything?
Right. I know San Francisco 49ers tight end George Kittle joked about bringing Kelce an old coin, purely because Kelce apparently has a big interest in old coins.
Which is a very specific hobby.
It is. But Gronk played it completely by the book. He actually went on the record saying, I didn't get him anything. You weren't supposed to get them gifts, so it's a good thing I didn't. I don't want to break the rules.
Gronk following the rules.
Yeah.
You love to see it.
You really do.
But going back to that rule, it forces the guests to just be present. The focus moves entirely from what you are bringing to the couple to the shared interactive experience the couple has designed for you.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the absence of a gift table was merely the setup for the completely bizarre reception environment they had engineered. Because if the guests weren't allowed to bring gifts, They were certainly going to have to earn their party favors.
Oh, man. Gronk may not have brought a gift, but he definitely tried to leave with one. And that's not even the wildest part. Wait till you hear what the guests were fighting over at the reception.
It's honestly unbelievable.
Forget the little mesh bags of Jordan almonds or, a polite slice of cake in a cardboard box. The reception was essentially a high-stakes arcade.
Yeah, an arcade.
If you wanted a party favor, you had to compete in games to earn a raffle ticket. One source described the vibe as, no handouts, no freebies.
Which is brilliant. You take a room full of highly driven, hyper-competitive individuals, professional athletes, top-tier actors, chart-topping musicians, and you dangle a reward in front of them.
Oh, it's a recipe for chaos.
Totally. It instantly strips away the pretense of a formal gala. The social hierarchy of Hollywood completely dissolves when everyone is sweating over an arcade game.
It sounds like Chuck E. Cheese meets the Hunger Games for the 1%.
That's a perfect way to put it.
You have NFL legends fighting for raffle tickets like it's the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl. Gronkowski admitted he threw himself into the games with full pro-athlete intensity just to win a prize for Camille.
And to be fair, the prizes completely justify the intensity.
Oh, absolutely. We're not talking about plastic spider rings here. Jackie Tranquil, the wife of Chiefs linebacker Drew Tranquil, won a Chanel handbag.
Wow.
Yeah, with a retail price of around $6,700.
Just from playing arcade games. And she actually posted a picture of her winning raffle ticket, which is a fascinating artifact in itself.
Oh, the custom one, right.
Yeah, it was custom stamped with a TNT logo for Taylor and Travis and the word winner.
That little piece of paper is basically iconic pop culture memorabilia now.
Oh, it belongs in a museum.
But looking through the sources, the Chanel bag wasn't even the grand prize. The prize that literally broke the internet was a 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle.
And this is where the PR masterpiece argument starts to really hold water for me.
Right, because it's not just a car.
Exactly. A 1970 Chevelle isn't just a random luxury item they picked out of a catalog. That is the exact model of the vintage car Taylor and Travis were seen driving off in after their very first public outing at that Chiefs versus Bears game back in 2023.
Oh, that is so deliberate.
It is. Taylor Swift's entire brand is built on embedding narrative callbacks and hitting messages, Easter eggs in her music and videos.
Right, she does it constantly.
And she brought that exact same storytelling architecture into her wedding reception. The car operates as a physical piece of their relationship lore, built directly into the party for their friends to experience.
That's wild when you think about it.
It transforms a lavish giveaway into a highly publicized, deeply personal touchstone.
If you're loving these Hollywood twists and insider Easter eggs, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead. Because if you're going to give away a literal piece of your romantic mythology, you need absolute assurance that it won't leak before the party is over.
Oh, the leak prevention was next level.
Which explains why the logistics of actually getting into this party were so terrifyingly strict. Later in the deep dive, we'll talk about the shocking 4 a.m. text message that completely changed how guests arrived at the venue.
The scale of the security apparatus requires looking at the venue itself first, though. They rented out Madison Square Garden.
Which is just logistically absurd. I mean, do you know how hard it is to hide anything inside a 20,000-seat glass and steel cylinder sitting on top of Penn Station in the middle of Manhattan?
It requires a level of control that borders on militaristic.
Truly.
The groundwork started back in March. Save the dates didn't come on fancy cardstock. They were sent via text from unknown numbers.
Like burner phones.
Basically, yeah. Then came the NDAs. And they weren't standard boilerplate contracts. They were uniquely watermarked to trace and deter any potential leaks back to the specific guest.
So if you leaked a document, they would know exactly who it was.
Instantly.
By the time the wedding weekend arrived, they had secured road closure permits for the surrounding Manhattan area from July 2nd to the 4th.
Which is incredibly hard to do in New York City.
Almost impossible. But the security measure that really caught my attention happened on the morning of the wedding itself.
Oh, this part is crazy.
Picture this. You are a Hollywood A-lister. You are used to having an entourage, a publicist, a set schedule. At 4 a.m. on Friday, July 3rd, guests people like Bradley Cooper, Hugh Grant, and Emma Stone received a QR code on their phones.
Just a random 4 a.m. drop.
Right. And that QR code provided an exact, non-deviable driving route to the garden. The instructions were absolute. If you deviate from this route, your car will not be recognized and you will not gain entry.
It feels like a Jason Bourne-level exfiltration tactic.
It really does. And once they navigated this blind route and arrived through the white privacy tents, they faced a strict no phones policy.
Not just a suggestion, right?
No, phones and smartwatches were completely confiscated. I can only imagine the sheer panic of separating someone like Tom Cruise or Gigi Hadid from their smartphone for an entire evening.
But disarming them of their devices is the final step in breaking down their external reality.
How do you mean?
Well, without a phone, you cannot record, you cannot post, and crucially, you cannot retreat into a screen when you feel socially awkward. You are forced to be entirely present in the environment that has been constructed for you.
And the environment they constructed was visually jarring from what you'd expect. The entire floor of MSG was draped in peach and white. It was transformed into a literal physical garden.
Taking the name literally.
Exactly. Broadcaster George Stephanopoulos actually attended and noted the space featured these massive large trees and colorful florals.
And yet, amidst this massive production, the ceremony itself rejected traditional Hollywood bridal pageantry in favor of a strictly intimate, family-only core.
See, I don't completely buy the intimate narrative, though.
Well,
I look at the source material and I see 1,000 people in a 20,000-seat steel cavern. You can put up some peach drapes and bring in some trees, but how does that actually feel intimate?
I get what you're saying, but I think it comes down to how you design the social friction, or rather, the lack of it.
Okay, unpack that.
They ditched the traditional bridal party. There were no rows of celebrities in matching dresses. Taylor's brother, Austin Swift, was her man of honor. Travis's brother, Jason Kelce, was his best man.
So keeping it strictly to siblings.
Right. And Jason and Kylie Kelsey's kids acted as the flower girls walking down a custom ramp. And officiating the union was Adam Sandler.
Sandler is a fascinating choice.
He really is. He's universally beloved, but he also instantly deflates any lingering pretension in the room. He apparently balanced the humor and the emotion perfectly.
And there was a massive amount of emotion to balance. I mean, sportscaster Joe Buck described Travis as an absolute puddle of tears. Yeah. They both read vows they wrote themselves from these golden books, and guests reported these vows lasted anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes each.
Let's just analyze that time frame for a second. That is nearly an hour of 1,000 highly influential people sitting in complete silence without their phones, just listening to two people speak about their relationship.
That's actually a really good point.
That creates a gravitational pull in the room that forces intimacy, regardless of the physical size of the arena.
So they were officially pronounced husband and wife at 7:22 p.m. And the moment they were married, the production extended outside the arena walls.
The timing was impeccable.
The Jumbotrons outside MSG instantly lit up with the words Justin T. married, using their T&T monogram.
And then the weather participated in the drama.
Oh my gosh, yes. Moments after the announcement, intense winds swept through Manhattan, followed by a torrential rainstorm, and finally, our rainbow.
The mythology literally writes itself.
You can't plan a rainbow. But the transition from that highly emotional hour-long ceremony to the reception is where the environment fundamentally shifted again.
It turned into a historic musical event. Paul McCartney got on stage and sang, "I Want to Hold Your Hand."
Which is insane because the last time he performed that live was in 1964.
Exactly. And Avril Lavigne sang Skater Boy. Taylor and Travis even got on stage and did a duet.
But the detail that explains the psychology of this entire night, I think, is the seating arrangement. Despite the immense star power in that room, Tom Cruise, Liam Hemsworth, Brad Pitt, there was absolutely no VIP section.
That is the mechanical answer to how you make Madison Square Garden feel intimate. You systematically strip away the typical Hollywood hierarchy.
No velvet ropes?
None. By eliminating VIP sections, enforcing family-style dining, featuring caviar cannolis from Sartiano's, by the way, and forcing A-listers to play those arcade games together for party favors, you remove the barriers that usually separate people at high-profile events.
It's brilliant group psychology.
It is. You force billionaires, professional athletes, actors, and childhood friends to a genuine communal atmosphere through shared vulnerability.
It forces everyone to just be a person, not a brand. But, you know, even with all that internal control, you can't entirely manage the external perception of the guest list.
That's true.
There was a significant political stir regarding one specific guest, which kind of pierced the bubble they were trying to create.
Yeah, the sources, including Rolling Stone, noted the presence of Stephen J. Demetrio, which caused considerable chatter and backlash online.
To lay out the facts provided in our sources clearly for you guys, Dimitri is the executive chairman of Amentum Services. Amentum is the sole government contractor for the Camp East Montana ICE Detention Center, which is the largest immigrant detention site in the country.
Right. And the connection to the wedding is through Travis Kelce's longtime friend, Reggie King.
Exactly.
Dimitri adopted King, and therefore King and his family, which includes Dimitri, were invited.
Right. Given the couple's well-known Democratic affiliations, fans were highly critical of them allowing someone with those ICE connections into the wedding. We aren't taking a side on the politics here, but we are looking at the mechanics of celebrity.
And what it means to be perceived on that level.
It highlights that when you live under a microscope that intense, even a guest list extension to a friend's adoptive family immediately becomes a global news story.
It underscores the inescapable scrutiny they face. Every single detail, from the cocktail napkins embroidered with blank space lyrics to the background of a +1, is subjected to forensic analysis by the public.
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Because bringing this all together, we return to the question we asked at the beginning of this deep dive.
Right. When you look at the sheer scale of the operation, the watermarked NDAs, the confiscated phones, the 4 a.m. encrypted routing, the pre-planned Jumbotron announcements, it forces you to consider the reality of modern fame.
Exactly. Here's a final thought for you to mull over as we wrap up today. The ultimate irony of the Swift-Kelce wedding is this. The most watched, highly publicized couple in the entire world managed to lock down an entire New York City arena so tightly that they controlled exactly what leaked out and exactly when.
A total media blackout on their terms.
Was this wedding the ultimate masterpiece in modern celebrity PR? A perfectly orchestrated narrative drop complete with a vintage Chevelle Easter egg and 0 unauthorized photos? Or beneath the NDAs and the militaristic logistics, was it just two superstars desperately trying to build a fortress so they could protect a single, genuine moment of intimacy from a world that wants to consume their every move?
It is the tension that defines their existence. The truth is likely that they needed the former to ensure they could experience the latter.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.